So Vusi Nova gets there, does his absolute best, but then he sings a song that we were supposed to start with. Kipina Yasefela, so Lise. That money, that from the internship, that's the money that we were using now for the funeral and all that. She never even got to taste, or I got paid, here's a chocolate I bought for you, or here's groceries. I've never gotten such a lot of money from Samro.
Yeah.
Let me check. Then I'd start doing my investigation.
Yeah.
Where is this coming from?
Yeah.
Only to find Omega Kuno, the song I wrote for you.
Tithe, please. Tithe, man of God. Well, hello everyone. My name is Omega Kuno, and welcome again to Omega Pod. We're gonna have an awesome time. I have with me a brother, a songwriter. This man writes songs like, hey, I have questions for him. His name is Brilliant Baloyi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm very well, sir. And such an honor for me to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes. Oh, Autiako Soshanguve.
Yep.
Yeah.
Grew up in Soshanguve.
Yes.
Kotugulko Mashamait. I don't know if you know Sosha, but yeah.
Yeah.
Kotugulko Mashamait. There's an area baraki called EE. So when
EE, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
When Soshanguve was perhaps coming up,
yes,
and a lot of people now they started grabbing land, and there was a lot of informal settlement.
Yes,
well, I guess my mom also got a place there for us, and then basically grew up there.
Sure.
Yep.
There's a church I normally go to, most of the time they go past Apostle Rapeleo. It's not far from the stadium. Which section is that?
I think I know the church. I think I know the church you're talking about.
Yes,
But our church in Modi BB, Modi BB, just Motogol Motlinigi.
Yes.
Now I'm going deep into such.
and I'm sorry to bring this up, but social is changing, man. Like actually, the Pretoria at large, it used to be, or it used to be like this. It's just now it's starting to trend, in terms of crime and
it's weird because when you're from there, you don't really quite experience it like other people do because you feel like Marakiko high, so you never really see it though until then you're on social media and then you're like, oh, this is really happening. But for me, I tend to wonder is this really true? Is this thing's really happening? But I guess it is what it is, and I guess it is happening, and well.
Look,
what
Sosha,
can we say?
we speak the message of God upon that city.
No, absolutely. And the levels of crime are definitely rising, and I guess also the poverty in the area as well.
Pushing,
part of the areas might be part of the reason why people are just also. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I think maybe that's the reason why people are trying to find ways, shortcuts and stuff like that. Obviously we don't promote that, but we pray that God helps our neighborhood.
Yes.
That's where we come from.
Because at the time I attended a mass prayer that was organized at what is this place that's now Juke Lane? Is it Juke Lane?
Yeah, Juke Lane. Actually, someone told me a story about Juke Lane. They were in a church service, but barapel and everything, and then bafitla bafana. Bafita Garitunya and all of that. But then, because that's what they do nowadays. But then, Akamukrageng, and then Bafita Bansaritunya, and then, you have to Basachadi Beck and all of that. And,
this is why I'm raising it.
The weird part of the story, they told me that actually the pastor was the first one to run out of the church. It's a bit, the
reason why I'm raising it is because, look, children are dying.
I saw the story. It's so sad and
so
really,
sad.
really,
There's a
really,
future.
really heartbreaking. I mean, it's so sad and heartbreaking, basically.
Yeah, there has to be some kind of awareness that needs to take place, in terms of, but I believe that God will raise men and women of God, of course, because church is the answer. Brilliant.
True.
Artists coming together.
True. Maybe do like a prayer,
prayer and not only even a prayer, a church working with a local government.
True.
To say what can we do?
True.
There has to be, you remember their feeding schemes.
Oh yeah.
Their feeding schemes. Give people food. Trying to do projects.
Come
back
up
in
with
the years.
Something.
You will have the municipality or the local government doing events about netball, about soccer.
Something.
Then if you were the that time and the Sweet 8. But the Sweet 8, the biscuit.
Look,
man, because sometimes you're hungry that moment because at home you're living under poverty, serious poverty. But when you get that juice fella, plate there,
makes a difference.
Yeah, it minimizes even chances of you how to amor will or ropa somebody.
Can need for someone it might be the only meal they have on that day.
Yeah. So you grew up there. Your parents were there as well. That's where you're.
I grew up there. So I was raised by a single mother. And I do tell a story.
Yes.
And maybe I can touch a little bit on.
Please touch it because I've been following. There's a testimony on
yes.
TikTok.
Yes.
Please.
On one of my songs, Jesu wa ngabangami.
Yes.
So meaning that God refused with my life. There is nothing in my life that was preparing me for where God is taking me to. Everything was against. I could have been. Everything could have gone as wrong as possible.
Yes.
Because I remember I was in grade 1.
Sure.
When my mom came back from work, my mom was working for a car brand, and it was a fairly good job, and we were staying in a proper house and everything, and she came back from work. I was in grade 1. She came back from work one day, at clothes.
Yeah.
And she said, "Bar abuichai until I fall,"
Sure.
And at that time you think, oh, maybe it's just a week. Maybe she's on sick leave. Maybe it'll be a week.
Yes.
And a week turned to a month turned to a year, and a year turned to a lifetime until she passed away. She didn't have stroke or had an accident or anything. She just gradually started being disabled.
Sure.
Out of nowhere.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
Out of nowhere, you just
out of nowhere. Initially, it was like flu, and then Iskale or Kadipatla Iskale. Then she's pushing something. Iskale, she's on a wheelchair,
guys.
And that was, and as a result, because we were staying in a house, as a result, we had to move until Akrasten, and then and then we stayed more. So our levels of poverty was the kind of poverty where even poor people call us poor, and literally that is my life, and that's how I grew up, and how God raised me up until here. It's purely just the grace of God, and to a certain extent also a miracle.
Yeah.
So basically that's where I grew up, and in the early stages when I'd now grown up and I'm at tertiary, I think I was around 22, then my mom passed away then.
Oh man.
So she passed away before she could see anything that God was still yet to do.
Your break in terms of music career.
Yes, unfortunately, she passed away before, all of that. And I'll tell you one thing that happened. When my mom passed away, I had gotten like an internship.
Okay.
So that month, I'd gotten an internship that month, and I was looking forward to payday because I remember I was earning 3.5 and got that internship, and I was like eagerly waiting for that payday so that I can buy food and everything. And in that week when I was getting paid, my mom passed away.
Oh man.
That money, that from the internship, that's the money that we were using now for the funeral and all that. She never even got to taste, God paid, here's a chocolate I bought for you, or here's groceries. Instead, we are now buying the grocery for the funeral. That is where I come from.
Yo, bro.
Yep, that's my testimony.
Hey, bro.
I have never openly spoken about my testimony until during my last recording.
Yeah.
And the song, towards the end of the song, and the Holy Spirit just propelled me to start talking about it. And even then, after we had recorded, I called my mixing engineer, Dave, and I said, can we cut the testimony part of the song? Just mix the song, but cut it. It was him who called me and encouraged me to say,
keep it.
As I'm mixing and I'm listening to this testimony, is doing something to me. Please, can we keep it? And then that's when we kept that testimony on the song.
I love the decision that you did to keep it, because more than a song, Brilliant.
Yeah.
What makes people to be encouraged and to trust God more and to open up, it is when us artists that they are looking up to, we start sharing our stories.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, because someone now is listening and to say, Brilliant is going through what I'm going through.
Absolutely.
Or he went through what I'm going through.
Absolutely.
And if God kept him and raised him out of that situation, that means I can hold on. Brilliant. I mean, today you're one of the best songwriters in the country. You know, the way, man, you are a good songwriter. If you didn't hear this before, I'm telling you now. And I told you before.
I do thank God. I do appreciate God for the gift, I must say.
I have 2 songs from you already.
The other day, I get a check from Samro. I'm like, I've never gotten such a lot of money from Samro.
Yeah.
Let me check. Then I'd start doing my investigation. Where is this coming from?
Yeah.
Only to find Omega Kuno, the song I wrote for you.
Tithe, please. Tithe, man of God. Tithe, please.
The song I wrote for you many years ago.
Yeah, many years ago.
And I'm talking about like last month.
Sure.
Oh, just the other day.
And there's a latest one you wrote for me.
And there's a latest one I wrote for you. So I think I can start moving to like the suburbs. Because your song is gonna make me a lot of money.
Mushirele is shown that you wrote for me is amazing.
Yeah, and I thank God for the gift. You know, when I got the call to write a song for you, which is what happens when I get a call from someone to say, can you write a song?
Yeah.
I know we joke about this, but literally that night, I couldn't sleep.
Sure.
I tried to go to bed. I need to be honest. I tried to go to bed. I couldn't sleep because then the song kept... It's in my spirit. It wants to go out. Then I had to go in and wake up and literally take my laptop and record it. You'll remember that I sent you the whole entire...
Yes.
The voices, the structure and everything, because that's what happens. Sometimes it's a gift, but sometimes it's like I don't want to say it's tormenting me, but... Yeah. But it sometimes it's okay, overwhelmed. Sometimes it can overwhelm me because it becomes so much that if I don't release, if I don't do something about it, it'll just keep going until I record it or I sing it or I teach someone. Then I have released it.
Yeah, man, you're good. You're good. And I'll put you in your corner. Maybe I'll find out the secret of how you do this. Maybe when I'll ask you now, you'll bring me ideas out here. I know you pray. I know you are spirit filled and all that. But I want to know maybe somehow. This will help me. I want to know. Your favorite dish.
My favorite dish. Food. Okay. I need to be honest. My favorite food.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanna bohobe motwana. If you put acha there, you've sorted me out. Absolutely.
Seriously?
Like somebody lasagna, I'll leave them for you. But no. You and I both.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So that's
That's my absolute favorite. Yeah. And kohaya barato hoapia vo modwan and stuff. Yeah. So luckily there's a garage around the corner where I know I can just drive there and then giddy wreck and then just be sorted.
Yo, that's beautiful.
That's me.
And your favorite gospel artist?
My favorite gospel artist.
Yeah.
Growing up, I had a massive influence of Kirk Franklin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, massive influence because of the way he writes songs. And he writes, and he's got a way of writing in a way that he's telling a story and is super relatable in his songwriting. So
Yes.
growing up, and he's just been my favorite artist. Yeah.
I can now start to
you can understand
bring-
better. You can put the dots together.
Yes,
yeah. Actually,
yes.
I don't think growing up, I don't think there's any maybe popular song
Sure.
of Kirk Franklin that we didn't sing, because I've always either maybe at the praise and worship team or the
Yes.
choir at school.
Yes.
There's always kind of been, I've always kind of been in a leadership role as far as music is concerned.
Yeah.
And we'll take those Kirk Franklin songs and teach the choir, and all that. Yeah. Big influence.
Off stage, even on stage, we know you as Brilliant Baloyi.
Yeah.
Is there any middle name or any name?
Karabo, actually.
Oh.
It's a Karabo, yeah.
Okay.
If you hear anybody say Karabo, then I know, this one knows me very well.
Otiwa, I'm from primary.
yeah, no, actually, it's a Karabo, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then your favorite lion, not lion, sorry, man. Your favorite animal. People.
It's funny that you say lion, because that's my favorite animal. Yeah, a lion is always referred to as being very bold, and I'd like to kind of see myself as that, but I know that I'm not yet as bold as I'm ought to be. But
yes.
But yeah, it's the kind of I'd like to maybe channel that. The lion in me, but I'm still working on it.
Did you do mathematics at school?
I did.
You did?
100%.
Good.
Yeah.
What is the square root of 100?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Square root of 100. Kind of square root king. Square root times 4, isn't it? Or divided by 4. Is it 25 the square root? I don't know.
Mathematics teacher, you tell us.
I don't know. I should be knowing this because my daughter is in matric, and from time to time I have to help her with her schoolwork.
Yeah.
But I know I'd be lying. I'd be lying.
No, it's funny. Your daughter will help you do that.
Yeah. My daughter actually helped me when we get home. And
yes.
Yeah.
And do you have a local church where you serve? Brilliant. Yeah.
I do go to a church in St. Sharon, next to where I stay.
Okay.
Grace Missions Church.
That's right.
Under Pastor Edgar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do.
Is it
I do go there.
Taki's church.
Yeah, Taki also actually goes there. So, but I was in the praise and worship team.
Yeah.
But there was a time where I actually did request to be excused from the praise and worship team.
Okay.
One reason was I needed to go back to Soshanguve, where I come from, because the praise and worship team there was kind of suffering,
okay.
So I wanted to go back.
Mm-hmm.
So then, I started going back to Sosha. I think I went there for like a year, but then fuel.
Social I don't.
That
highway going there.
Yeah, Maopan highway. Fuel ya Tomo Dilalen, and I just felt like it was becoming a bit too much, because then Nestige Tomo Lofa and all of that. So then I'm back now at our church, St. Sharon. But ever since I got back, I never went back to the praise and worship.
Yes.
Yeah, because also you are back. You're not consistent, or you're not committed.
Yeah.
But I do love our praise and worship team.
Sure. Yeah.
Proper.
And while we
enjoy the
there,
music. Yeah.
In terms of saving, what will you say? What will you encourage a young person looking to this episode now? The importance of serving in the church.
I always say that if you are not at a praise and worship team, especially I do get a lot of messages of people who are saying, I also want to enter the music industry. What do I do? Whatever. And in my workshops, if I'm sitting with them and I'm coaching them or I'm replying, I always say, if you're not in a praise and worship team, you have to be in some kind of a group or a choir, or somewhere where you can that can be your training. For some, it's SEO. For me, my training was SEO, you know, to be at SEO and the choir at SEO, for the music department, you know, going there for rehearsals every day. You have to learn, you know, how to submit. You have to learn from other people as well. So serving is important in that to be a leader, you have to know what kind of a leader would you like to be by learning and by being in the background, so that you can see that I would love to do that, or I wouldn't like to do that if I was leading people and all that. So I mean, 100% when it comes to serving, you know. Just the past weekend we were with Nerlekolesong. The past weekend Nerlekolesong, one of my friends, Kerma Tlochi Mudis. So obviously, you know, it's there, we are with our friends and all that. And you can imagine that perhaps people expected us and I can tell you that after Fesojan and everything, in a little it's already plastic because there is a place more hopefully, you know, it's
home.
It's home. And you know, I have to serve, I have to clean, I have to make sure that people are well taken care of. I'm sure you remember, even the last time we were with you, we were the ones serving you.
Yes.
You remember, right? We were the ones showing you where to sit and all of that. Because it is important, you know, to serve.
Yes. Now let's come to the big thing that is happening now in this season. There's a song, Uloyi Kolwam. Featuring
Mini Twins.
Let's talk. This is what is happening now.
The
song is trending big, bro.
Is happening now.
Yes.
Wow.
Talk about it, bro.
Okay. Let me take it from the top. I sit down with Tlochi and my other friends. I'm like, we need to go and look for talent. And I believe that's something that God has placed in my heart, you know, so that with my next recording, I'm recording with brand new talent.
All right.
They're like sharp. Then we start traveling around the country. Rustenburg was our first stop. We meet there, lots of people come in and they audition and everything. And then towards the end of the day, there's two young girls come in. And I think there was just something charismatic, let me put it that way, about them. You know, even when they came in, they sang, you know, they did sing. I remember they sang one by one. I was hearing them, but I wasn't quite hearing them. Then I said, can you sing together? I called the other two, and when they sang together, something I was like, that's the thing, you know. We go on with the process of the auditions, and then at some point, as we agreed, auditions is selection process. So at some point they didn't make it to the next stage. Then I called the team. I was like, we need to bring them back. Then we invented wildcard. The wildcard is when a person didn't make it, but at our own discretion, we're calling them back. Then we call them back, and then we went to other places as well. We auditioned other people, and then we had the final round of auditions, and they made it through, winning for the Northwest region. So we've got another winner for Gauteng, another one for Mpumalanga as well. I forgot the other places, but I think for Limpopo as well, we've got a winner for those regions. So then we go in and we record the bonfire experience, and then the bonfire experience, the initial bonfire experience, had Uloyi Kolwam, which I was singing alone. Yes, and then but that was before we were doing auditions. When I had that Uloyi Kolwam sing alone, unfortunately that recording didn't come out. Then we had to go and do it again. When we went and did it again, that's when now we called in the twins.
The twins,
to come on board. And then we released the song. By God's grace, the song was well received, I must say.
Very well received.
The song was well received, and as I'm talking to you now, we're busy now with the remix. with the remix of the song, and I'll tell you how the remix happened. Actually, we were booked at an event, Forgeville. In Forgeville, we were booked at an event, and we were booked, I think, with other artists. Vusi Nova was on the lineup as well. So Vusi Nova, so the event started late. We were meant to perform way before Vusi Nova.
Yes.
So when the event started late, the promoter came to us and said, "Can I move you guys to a bit later? But I cannot move Vusi because he's coming at his time slot."
Okay.
So meaning you guys are gonna have to perform right after Vusi Nova. you don't know the nerves and everything, that we had to go through, because now, this is at a very secular environment. We have never performed at a Shisanyama lifestyle and all of that. We have never, we're used to church, we're used to praise and worship. We were used to gospel events where we're very comfortable there, But then, and plus the fact that it's at a Chisanyama. Now Vusi Nova is performing just before us. So Vusi Nova gets there, does his absolute best. But then he sings a song that we were supposed to start with. Kipina Yasofila, so Lise. Then I'm sitting with the twins. I'm like, we need to change. We need to change the repertoire. We need to, the song we're supposed to start with. Now we're flipping it around. We can't start with that song anymore. Now we have to start with Uloyi Golwam and then finish with that song. I didn't know that was God's plan.
Amen.
Vusi leaves the stage and then we go in now. We start Uloyi Golwam. Before I knew it, Vusi Nova was standing right here next to me.
On stage?
On stage. He's there on stage. He's singing with us. At some point, I wanted to even give him my mic. He's like, "No, go ahead." Then he goes and takes the mic of the tenor.
Yeah.
Then he's singing with us the song like he knows it, like it's his song, and everything is just blending in together. And that's a moment I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
Man.
That was
do you
so
have it
beautiful.
on record?
We have it. Actually, he posted it on his Instagram as well. I think it's still there. So then, organically from there, in that same week, we'd already done recording the remix.
So it's gonna be you, the twins,
me, the twins, and Vusi Nova.
And Vusi Nova.
We're doing the remix version.
God's time.
Yeah, God's timing.
God's timing.
God's timing. God's timing. I keep telling my family and friends and Ore, there's a part of me that's like dreaming because everything is just happening
so fast.
And and I don't know if it's my lack of faith, but I'm still struggling.
When the time is right,
to
as
believe.
the scripture says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, I will make it possible. So we don't control the time. God does.
Absolutely.
And when that moment of breakthrough is here, it is your faith. It is that time when you are pushing your mother in the wheelchair, saving your mother and say, "Listen here, this is my first salary. I'm ready to do this," and your mother goes to be with the Lord.
Yep.
Brilliant. It's payback time now. There's no way that you will go through a lot of pain like this and God doesn't pay back.
Absolutely.
When is it in the name of the Lord?
Absolutely.
Whatever that is done in the name of the Lord.
Amen.
Whether from pain, whether from poverty, whether from any kind of situation.
Amen.
God will pay back.
Yep.
So all this time that you've been planting a seed with tears, it is the time. And it will happen like, is it me? Is it happening? Ask yourself now, this is Vusi Nova. What's next?
Absolutely.
It is in the hands of the Lord. It's in the plan of God. You just have to go with it. Go with the flow.
I'm honestly just trusting God. I always say I'm a student of this process, and I'm available for what God is doing in my life. I called you yesterday and I was so nervous. I was like, no, can we cancel? I'm not so sure.
Yes.
And, you encouraged me. Yeah. And I must say that I appreciate God, to have brothers like you that I can just pick up a call and say, this is happening. It's too much for me. What do you think?
Yeah.
And, you can speak in authority and you can speak into my life and say, do this, don't do that. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah. No. It's God time when I'm brilliant.
Yeah.
And may God use that song even to open more doors, you know.
Amen.
We wanna see that song, you guys going to big stages.
Amen.
Performing for summers. Now I'm prophesying. Performing for summers,
I receive.
for metros, going even beyond.
And absolutely receive. Yeah.
I remember when you spoke to me over the call, I said, "Bruh, get ready to be on the flight to Cape Town in and out every weekend," because that's a closer song, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, and
it
now
is.
having the closer men who
I believe Vusi Nova being part of the song will be even more relevant, because then he sings with that proper
understanding
and
emotion.
So seamless.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And with Vusi, with kind of the songs, he will really
I listen to it and I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. It sounds amazing. It sounds beautiful. You could swear that I actually wrote the song for him. Yeah.
So it's gonna be on. You're gonna do a video as well.
We are actually in preparation to do a video.
Okay.
I'm propelled to tell you this, especially with regards to Vusi Nova story, him being on the song. You know, and I'm saying this to encourage you. When it's God's plan,
right,
you will never move away from it.
Yeah.
So when I wrote the song, I gave it to Joseph like I always do, you know. And then there was another recording that Joseph was doing.
Okay.
And in that recording, they were featuring Vusi Nova.
Okay.
And I said, please, you know, share the song with them and whatever. Yeah. Unfortunately, as we do with all the songs, as we do with all the recordings, that song then didn't make it through to be sang by Vusi Nova in that recording.
That person's recording, the other
artist's recording. I'm telling you. So obviously, you know, not a big deal. We move on. And when we had even forgotten that we have once offered the song to Vusi Nova, then God makes it happen. Now Vusi Nova is in the song.
God's way.
God's way. If God has appointed it, if God has chosen that this is how it's going to work, it's going to work that way.
Man, that's a testimony right there.
Trust me.
So you wrote a song, you give it to the producer and say,
I give it to the producer.
At that recording you are doing, Vusi Nova is coming there.
Yes.
Do the song there.
Do the song because the artist that had asked me to write a song for them. So I thought, it would be great to write this one, which also Vusi Nova can do. And unfortunately, the song didn't make it through there. Yeah.
Then it comes back.
Now it comes back.
You performs it.
He likes it. He jumps on stage. And
that's a testimony right there.
That is a testimony.
Yo!
True story. True story. Yeah. God's ways.
May God enlarge territories.
God's ways.
May open doors for more.
You know those twins, ne? The grace at which they're operating at, I've never seen anything like this.
Sure.
Those twins, ever since they came into the picture, it's like God was just waiting for them to come through. Things are really just opening up in a way we've never seen.
Sure. Yep. Is the grace upon their life.
Is the grace upon their life. And I really just appreciate God, you know, for the whole entire process.
Yes.
And for them being part of the process. And I believe
guide them
still, you know, there's still a lot.
Take care of them.
Yeah.
You know how the industry is.
Yeah.
They're still young.
Yeah.
They will want to explore things and so on, but guide them, talk to them,
absolutely,
show them what is right, what is wrong, which buttons they should press and not, you know,
absolutely,
you know, because you know, fame at times it comes like a spirit, you know, that wants to take you away from your roots,
from your core,
and driving
God,
away, but at the times God giving us strength, we can control that spirit. You know, it is there, yes, and it opens doors, yes, but at the same time, we should be careful how we embrace it,
absolutely,
you know, with our character, our lifestyle, and so on. So absolutely, take care of them and make sure that they don't even forget. Their homes, their local church where they serve.
True,
you know, because those are the things that will protect them.
To
to go far.
No, absolutely true.
We should not, when we go high and higher, we should not forget the altar that made us.
Yep.
And we should always go back to that altar, take care of it, and pray to God and say we should not disconnect.
Absolutely.
Because at times when you disconnect, that's our way down. Because it's that altar that is made us.
No, absolutely.
Yes.
In fact, the more God uplifts us, the more it should be challenging to us to go deeper in prayer, deeper on our knees, deeper in seeking the face of God. Because you realize when God uplifts you, you realize how much you don't know.
Correct.
You realize how lost are you, because every stage comes with its challenges.
Sure.
I didn't know that in less than 2 weeks, I'll have a whole entire remix with a superstar, and not only that, but also a whole entire video in less than 2 weeks.
Can only be God.
It can only be God, So those are some of and everything, every level comes with its challenges.
Yes, sir.
Now in 2 weeks you have to put together a whole production. It takes us 6 months to a year sometimes to plan a whole production, but in less than 2 weeks I had to plan the whole production to make sure that this happens. You can imagine the pressure and the challenge, but like you say that if you are rooted and you are, attached to your core, then you know that this is God's work. It's not my work. And if it's God who made it happen, it's God again who will provide for it to happen.
Family, check out that song. It's called Uloyi Kolwam.
Loyi Kolwam.
So now it is coming again with another cherry on top. Now with Vusi Nova.
Yeah.
Am I the one saying this? Come on.
Absolutely.
Do you understand, bro?
Absolutely.
It is coming now remixed with Vusi Nova.
Absolutely.
It will be available very soon on YouTube. You'll be seeing it on your TVs and radios as well. And then check out for them as well. They will be performing it. Guys, get ready, because I'm telling you, Vusi Nova is loved only as an artist, personality. So you guys get ready, because he will be opening some platforms. You will be calling him as well on your stages.
No, absolutely.
So
absolutely. We are working on a tour. And we are talking to his team so that when we tour, he also comes through with us as well.
Wow, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I know, it is exciting.
Thank you so much.
And on that, you've got other albums.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely. I think 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I took a big jump, at my workplace. I resigned. Then I took all that money and I recorded a whole entire album, because it's always been something that's been in my heart, and I think I've always kind of been aware that there is a gift that I carry, especially in terms of songwriting and ministering. And that's when I went through the route. I didn't know that you guys go through a lot, actually, in terms of the industry and how the music scene, the production and everything. And I had to learn, and I learned the hard way, at some point. And I do tell the story that at some point, I did take down all my music.
Okay.
Took down all my music, took down all the videos. I remember calling the stations. Can you stop playing my music? Because things were not making sense for me. I thought once you're done recording and your song is out there, then, life begins and, things start to be smooth. And it didn't happen that way.
And when you push your recordings, you say, write and you sing.
Okay.
So what is the concept all about?
Okay. Okay. So from that one, my Enzi Wintando, which was the first one. And then I guess between then and 2019, that's where we drew up some lessons and, we learned a bit more, did a bit more research, then went back on stage. Okay. Now our expectations were no longer, they were quite reasonable. And then we, having understood that my strength is more on writing.
Okay.
Rather, let me focus where my strength is.
Okay.
And then call other artists to come on board and then sing. So that's why I say I write, you sing.
I write, you sing.
Yes,
yes. So you write songs?
I write songs.
You invite artists?
And I invite artists, and then they come through to sing the songs that I wrote. Actually, because you need to be aware of your gift. You need to be aware of your strong points. And I sat down and I analyzed, and I did realize that actually the writing is what stands out. When people meet me, they don't say, hey, you sing, yeah. Yeah. They usually say, hey, you write.
You write, yeah.
So I say to them, so pela
So they're just trying. They're making it nice.
They're making it nice. So, hey, this man can write. What about the singing?
but which is the writing? I think the writing is more bigger than the singing.
I think so too.
Because it is the song.
I think so too.
That makes even a good singer.
I think so too. That is why I also started focusing a lot more on the writing, and I invited other artists. Then I invited them, and then wrote for them, and then they sang. And if till this day, I know that my strength is in writing.
Yes.
Actually.
So talking about that, I write, you sing. I write, you sing. Any other interesting names that you will want to invite in terms of on your project now? That you dream to
Okay. Obviously, I must say, Lusanda Beige, I've already worked with him.
Okay.
I must say that I really, 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 really admire him. I study his work and everything. So I've already recorded with him, because how we're doing I Write You Sing, we would like not to repeat an artist. Okay. Well, unless it's absolutely necessary.
Yes. Yes.
So I'd really love to invite once more.
Oh, nice.
I'd really love to. In fact, at my last recording, The Bonfire, we tried to record him, but he was already booked out. Oh, okay. We tried to invite him. Yeah, he was already booked out. I'd really love to invite once more. Mm-hmm. I can't think of anyone specific. Yeah, but my ears, when I listen to someone sing, I can already think of a song that I can write for them. You know what I mean? So yeah. I mean, I'm a musician, you know, and I love music. So when I hear you sing, I can already tell what can work for you. You know? Yes. You know, So there's many artists that I would love to work with and write songs for them. There's many artists that when I listen to their voices, I just Kadum or So I mean, and I do believe that God is still working, you know, through us, so that one day when we record another album, we can invite more artists and write more music and share more music with them.
Yeah. So any I Write You Sing project coming soon?
There has to be another recording coming up. Remember, we auditioned the other talent set, and so they are still waiting for recording. Yeah, so when all is said and done, you know, by the grace of God, we need to be able to come back and record another I Write You Sing, which is going to feature all these other artists, and we'll obviously invite other artists as well.
And so, but you spoke about the Uloyi Kolwam tour.
Ne? Yes. So sometimes also the danger of almost pre-planning or planning forward is when something like Uloyi Kolwam comes and shifts all the other plans.
Because now it wants attention.
It wants attention, and you kind of have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, let's restructure. Let's push out the recording. Yes. Let's proceed with the song and, you know, do a tour and maybe do more with the twins as well. Right. Because clearly God is raising them up, and we're not going to be the ones to stand on their way. So, you know, before we do other things, I don't know, we might record the twins or...
because out of that,
you know, because we want to be the students of this process. And if God says, here's the direction, we want to be obedient enough to follow the direction. So yes, there is a recording, but we can't commit to it now because we have to follow what God is doing. Now the remix is coming up. We don't know what direction the remix is going to take. So we want to be present to the direction that the remix will take, and then we trust in God. That,
If I let you go, Brilliant, we can go on and on and on.
Absolutely.
Tell me, anytime soon will you be thinking or dreaming of running workshops of how to write a song? Because I think that as well can be
it can be a thing. Absolutely. What I realized in my journey is that there's a lot to learn.
Okay.
And also there's a lot to share with someone. Sometimes we just look at it and say, oh, it's just Tulo Ikolam, and it's just whatever song. But what we don't always get to understand is that there is a lot in the background that goes into this. So I would love to share that, with a lot of people. When we did the talent search, before it ended, we called everybody in, those who made it and those who didn't make it. Then we had a workshop with them to kind of train them, on the industry, music, songwriting, and all of that. But I'd like to do that
because
consistently.
Writing a song is not just writing a song. You need to have an melody first, yes, and then 2, you have to have lyrics that are making sense.
That are blending.
You don't just take lyrics and hold there because it's gospel and no. You have to have lyrics that are making sense, that are building for a listener.
It's got to work together, and it's got to not be forced. The moment it seems forced, it's no longer flowing.
Right.
So it has got to work together.
Right.
And I think about it this way, and I mean, I think I do have a right to speak about songwriting now, because I think I've been doing it for a while.
Yes.
There is a spiritual element to it, where and there is a technical element to it.
Okay.
When you're starting, you're just focusing on the spiritual part. Oh, I was sleeping and the song came up and I wrote it, and that's the spiritual part of it, because it comes within you, and you're propelled by God. And there's a technical element to it where you now train, you now learn, you learn about hooks, you learn, how long must it take before a song gets to a chorus? How quick must you get to a chorus? You understand? You learn what are the words that are most difficult for people to sing, because once they start thinking about the words you're saying, then you've lost them. There's all this technical things that you now start to learn about in order to also improve your gift and your talent. And as you continue to write, you practice. Also the key is to keep writing. Don't wait until there's a recording before you write. So that's another mistake that people do. You wait until there's a recording and say, I'm writing for my recording. No, I'm writing for a living. I'm writing
and knowing
on a normal day.
Important things like the best part of the song now lately, because now we are on digital platforms and so on. Write a song and you take the good nice part, you reserve it at the end. No.
That
we are living in quick time.
That can also kill the song.
Like when you write a song, bring it closer, cut unnecessary things.
Yes.
Because radio plays 1 minute, TV play half a minute.
All those things.
Digital platforms.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of songs there, and artists. You don't want to put a song of...
True.
That will be
true.
35 minutes.
What you're talking about actually really touches on some of the things that are really important.
Sure.
Digital platforms work with algorithms. And what algorithms are programmed is this song, as it plays, how long are people listening to the song?
Sure.
If people are listening to the song up until only 1 minute and they skip, then in the algorithm, then when it analyzes that data, then it can tell, then that's a boring song. Then people are not interested. Then it's not pushing the song maybe to other playlists or to other people. You understand?
Yeah.
So hooks are obviously very important. A chorus, a hook, that's very important to catch the audience very quickly in the song. By the way, this is a big topic. We can go on the whole day about it. But those are the things you need to be able to understand. Understand your audience, understand who's listening. Once you understand who is listening, how long do they listen, then it starts guiding what is it that I'm not doing right. And then you can make changes in your production within your team, so that by the time the product is out, it can then reach the right people. And
Ladies and gentlemen, we can go on and on. This is a wrong writer. Songwriter is a songwriter, is a producer. So we can thank you for coming, my brother.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I feel like we didn't touch much. So, so I'll hold you to the second invitation.
You're coming back. And this time you're coming back with the twins.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, they have a place to sit.
We'll see. We'll see
what we can do.
But thank you for coming, my brother.
You so
Ladies and gentlemen, Minister Brilliant Baloyi. Go check out Uloyi Kolwam. Coming soon with Vusi Nova.
Twins and Vusi Nova.
Yes. God bless you. And until next time, love you all, family.